watching the Big 12 now on ESPN+. College football is back in the Midwest, and a sea of cardinal and gold ready to embrace Iowa State. It's a sold-out Jack Trice Stadium as the Cyclones begin what many consider maybe the most highly anticipated season in their long history. Ranked number 7, they get set to take on Will McIlvain and the UNI Panthers. Welcome to college football. Great to be back with you. Sean Kinney alongside 12-year NFL quarterback veteran Sage Rosenfels. Scooby Mageza is on the sidelines. We'll check in with him in a moment. What a year for Iowa State last season. This is a program that has all sorts of momentum. After all, it was a year of firsts. First appearance in the Big 12 championship game and their first New Year's Six bowl win. What do they do for an encore this year?
Expectations in Ames, Iowa are sky high in 2021. After that dominating performance in the Fiesta Bowl, you have people in Ames, Iowa talking about Big 12 championship. You're talking about a playoff berth. This is the 7th-ranked team in the country. Never happened here in Ames. They've got a great football team. Obviously, Matt Campbell, the head coach, but it really starts with that tailback, Breece Hall.
Hall last year became Iowa State's first unanimous first-team All-American. He dominated the Big 12. Rumor has it he's faster, he's bigger, he's stronger this year.
You don't see a lot of running backs who can run with power, they can run with quickness and agility, but also have that home run type speed, and that's what Breece Hall has. You might see a 60, 70, or an 80-yard run today by the Iowa State tailback.
This UNI defense will certainly be tested, but the Panthers are stout. A top 10 unit from the spring, returns with all 11 starters, and their main brick in the middle, Jared Brinkman.
The strength of the Northern Iowa team is that defensive line, and it starts with Brinkman. He was the Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year from the nose tackle position. That's not an easy thing to do. He's a heck of a player, and he has his hands full today.
UNI traditionally has been a tough out for Iowa State. You just pushed the rewind button to a couple of years ago. The Cyclones needed triple OT to survive UNI. What does a sunny Saturday hold here in Ames? We're about to find out. Kickoff coming up next.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check, check.
They love their Cyclones here in Ames. A thunderous ovation from a sold-out Jack Trice Stadium. Iowa State making their grand entrance. The Cyclones ready to tangle with UNI. Scooby Mageza is down on the field. He's still vibrating from the Cyclone entrance.
Oh yeah, Sean, college football is back, and the energy in the building today lets you know that the fans are back. It is jumping down here, and they got every reason to be excited because they haven't seen their team in person in, get this, 651 days, which is why they broke a school record for the most season tickets sold ever at nearly 50,000. Now, when they see a team like you and I on the field, they get excited because the last time they were here, it was a triple overtime thriller. And today, we can only hope to see the same type of thing in a great game and a great matchup. So let's get the energy going in here because this seed looks incredible. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Scooby. We look forward to hearing from you throughout the game. Iowa State is quickly elevated to national relevancy under Matt Campbell. What a job he has done. He was courted rather aggressively by other top programs. Even the NFL came calling this offseason, but every time he reiterated his passion, his loyalty and love for this university and unfinished business for Campbell and the Cyclones. In the FCS most competitive conference, Mark Farley is the grand orchestrator, entering his 21st year in Cedar Falls. He is the Missouri Valley Football Conference's all-time wins leader. The 2007 Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year. He's accumulated 162 wins. He was really loose, Sage, when we talked to him this week. You could tell he was fired up and ready to go.
I think he loves this game. You know, they get to play Iowa every once in a while. They get to play Iowa State every once in a while. And when they do, they're an extremely competitive team. When I mean competitive, as in they win some games in these in-state rivalries, right? So it's a huge game for them. Everyone gets to measure their team. They're only about 147 days from last playing football in the 2021 spring. First time ever doing that. So it's going to be an interesting game from that aspect. We'll talk about during the telecast today. But playing so quickly after a spring season, that's going to be hard for this UNI Panther team.
Iowa State won the toss. They elected to defer. UNI to get the football first. The 33rd meeting, the Cyclones and the Panthers, and we are underway. Bouncing kick, scooped up on the return, taking it out past the 20 is Quan Hampton, and then he is pelted right there. Special teams coverage for the Cyclones flying downfield. Iowa State's in Freeler, and there is a look at the UNI offense. The Panthers will turn to the redshirt sophomore, Will McIlvaine. There was some question coming into the week, who would Mark Farley go with? They brought in some transfers during this offseason, but he said it was always McIlvaine's job. They just wanted to increase the competition. You see what he did this spring, just the one touchdown, but this was a UNI offense that had COVID-19 issues. They had several injuries and quite simply never found their rhythm.
And lost their coordinator right before that spring season.
From the 20-yard line, McIlvaine will go to the air, a quick swing pass, and there is nothing there, a loss of a yard.
The Cyclones have very good players along the defensive line, the way their secondary guys run to the football, but the strength of that defense is those three linebackers. And Jake Hummel, the sixth-year senior, was right there on the stop.
Jake Hummel, Orion Vance, Mike Rose is about as talented a trio of linebackers as there are in the country. They get back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10. They'll try the left side this time, and the same result. There is nothing there. Count up the number of Cyclones. Iowa State flying to the football.
Iowa State's defense giving Northern Iowa a good box to throw the football out on the edge, on the bubbles, on the outside screens. But the eyes and the awareness of the Iowa State defense and the way they run to the football as a team, 2 big stops on 1st and 2nd down.
Panthers really struggled on 3rd downs near the bottom of the valley, and now Iowa State can crank it up. Hummel and Rose, the 2 linebackers on the line of scrimmage. They'll send Hummel, pressure from McDonald, and the sack leader from a year ago starts off the new campaign with a bang.
John Haycock, the defensive coordinator for Iowa State, on the very first 3rd down of the year, comes up with the double-A gaps. You see Northern Iowa squeeze, and they leave the Iowa State pass rusher, the best pass rusher probably in the Big 12 Conference, and Will McDonald untouched. Nobody blocking the Iowa State star defensive end, untouched to the quarterback, and he gets an easy sack.
McDonald led the Big 12 last year, 10.5 sacks. He will be the main guy this year for Iowa State. Nate Murphy angling the kick. Tariq Milton with the fair catch, and excellent starting position for the Cyclones.
You couldn't ask for a better start if you're the Iowa State head coach, Matt Campbell, through the defensive coordinator, John Haycock, to go 3 and out with a sack to start the year, get the offense the ball at the 50-yard line. A great start for the Cyclones.
The winningest quarterback in Iowa State history, Brock Purdy, the 6'1", 220-pounder from Gilbert, Arizona. 23-11 as a Cyclone starter, 19 touchdowns a season ago. Great field position. He has Breece Hall lined up behind him. First down. Jared Russ will go in motion. The 2 tight ends set over the left side, and that's where they're going to test the waters with Hall, and a good open field tackle. Losing the lid over near the edge was Austin Evans, coming in from his cornerback position.
Last season, Hall ran for almost 1,600 yards for the Cyclone, led the NCAA first-team All-American and 6th in the Heisman Trophy voting.
His first game as a Cyclone was 2 years ago against UNI. Rushed 11 times for 47 yards. Purdy to throw for the first time this season, and it is, let's see if they rule that a catch and fumble. Looks like they are. He made a football move. Able to get back on top of it was Jared Russ. Alfonso Lambert put in the hit that knocked the ball free.
And one thing Northern Iowa does extremely well is they play 2 high safeties the majority of the ball game, whether it's some sort of what they call cover 4, you have 4 deep guys, or a cover 2 with 2 deep safeties. And what that type of defense does, it makes the offense earn it. It makes them have to go 10, 12, 15 play drives to get a touchdown.
So the control there by Skates, and then the timely hit to knock the ball free. 3rd and long. Purdy with some time. He'll step and throw, and he airmails it over his intended target. That was Xavier Hutchinson. And the Cyclones unable to take advantage of the field position, so a big win there for the UNID.
That's nice to come back with a 3 and out defensively after our offense gives the ball to the other team on the 50-yard line. So Mark Farley has to be happy with the way his defense started on that first drive.
So the 2 defenses come out and make an immediate impact. Iowa State gets the sack from McDonald. UNI gets the big 2nd down negative yard play on the strip from Lambert. So 3 and out. Cyclones forced to punt with Corey Dunn back from an injury a year ago. Trying to pin the Panthers deep. Does a pretty good job as it comes to arrest at the 17. Early on from Ames, no score. Cyclones and Panthers.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest. So you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
In Iowa, we grow corn. A lot of corn. Corn is what supports us. It feeds our livestock, it fuels our vehicles, and powers our state. It nourishes our families. A cash crop? Yeah, but it's way more than that. Corn sustains us. It's who we are. Without it, we'd just be... well, you get the picture. In Iowa, we grow corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Maybe that's why scientists are trying to recreate real meat. But why tamper with what Mother Nature has already perfected? A high-quality protein, Iowa-raised meat is the original health food, with 9 essential amino acids necessary for the human diet, sustainably raised by Iowa farm families. But hey, keep at it. It's flattering that so many products want to be us.
Not all internet is created equal. If you want internet that's even faster than advertised, if you want Wi-Fi on Mega Blast, If you want enough power to power all the things, that's asking for more than a lot. That's demanding extreme. And you deserve it.
Each team has had at once no score as we welcome you back to Ames, a sold-out Jack Trice Stadium. 33rd meeting between the Panthers and the Cyclones. UNI's last win, 2016. They have defeated the Cyclones 3 times in 07-13. And as we talked about in 2016, the last time they met was a triple OT thriller. UNI continues to try to get this wide passing game going. Quan Hampton, the transfer from Kansas, 3 former Jayhawks finding their way onto the UNI roster.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of a pipeline from Lawrence, Kansas up to Cedar Falls. And Will McElvain, their quarterback, they like throwing the ball outside of the pocket. They don't want to, he's not really a true pocket passer. He likes to scramble, he likes to roll out, he likes to bootleg, and they've started off him doing that so far today.
Try to get the ground game going. You will see a number of different running backs. Here is, speaking of Kansas, a former Jayhawk, Dom Williams, getting the call. Williams, Tyler Hoosman, Vance McShane, and Bradrick Shaw, the transfer from Cal, all expected to get carries for head coach Mark Farley today.
Yeah, they talk about 4 running backs for Northern Iowa, and last year the only average in the spring, only 3.0 yards per carry. Not a very good stat if you're a coach like Mark Farley, who likes to run the ball and play good defense.
Again, the Cyclones put Rose and Hummel in the center. This time they rush only 4, drop 7 into coverage, and they still get to McElvain. He's dropped back at the 13. Orion Vance finding his way in.
Not only did Orion Vance find his way in, but he beat Trevor Penning, who a lot of NFL GMs look as a first-round talent, the left tackle for the Northern Iowa Panthers. Vance beats him on the edge, and with the extra hustle, gets the sack and the stop on 3rd down. Iowa State again walked up in the double A-gap look, and then this time they backed out of it and did not blitz. Maybe a little bit of confusion along that offensive line for the Panthers.
Cyclone defense already with a couple of sacks in this first quarter. Once again, Murphy punting from his end zone. Tariq Milton will let this one bounce, and it takes a UNI bounce. A fortuitous hop for the Panthers, and Murphy delivers the kick. A bit of a field position changer. Talk about game changers. The Cyclone linebacking trio, already a couple of sacks early in Ames. Brock Purdy has put his name atop many of the Iowa State career records here in Ames, the winningest quarterback in Cyclone history. 62 touchdown passes throughout his career. The 6'1", 220-pounder from Gilbert, Arizona. Perry High School. He gets ready for series number 2. Iowa State with a 3-and-out. Rick Milton in motion. The Cyclones with 3 receivers left. They swing it Milton's direction, trying to run behind a Hutchinson block, and he blew a gasket. Looked like he had some room maybe to work behind his teammate Hutchinson, but the cleat gave out on him.
The throw was a little behind him, but he had good blocking out front. Just couldn't keep his feet on this Jack Trice turf.
Yeah, when you look at these Iowa State receivers, they have some serious size. We haven't even seen Sean Shaw yet, the 6'6" but they are physical on the edge. On second down, Purdy gets rid of it quickly. It's a strike. Gain of 4 yards, making the catch, Jalen Knoll. They're really high on him, the true freshman from Kansas City.
Yeah, I think high is an understatement. Every single person I talked to at Iowa State just raved about this kid, Jalen Knoll. He is going to be the sort of the star of the future, I think, once Xavier Hutchinson and a couple of these tight ends end up moving on to the next level.
And over 1,000 yards last year in his senior season at Park Hill. Third down, the Panthers run a stunt. Here comes pressure up the middle. Somehow Purdy avoids it, dances his way near the 40, but then that is it. Good pursuit by UNI. Alfonso Lambert for the second time, bringing down Purdy.
Brock Purdy gets pressure almost immediately right up the middle. Makes a couple guys miss, but just not enough. Again, Northern Iowa, they love to play
number
zone.
75. The penalty is declined. Result of the play brings up 4th down.
Game's first flag called against Iowa State.
They love to play zone defense, so when you do that, your eyes are on the quarterback. You're not chasing a receiver down the field. So if a quarterback does run, you got 3, 4, 5 guys who can hustle to the ball and wrap him up.
Javon Brecky putting on the initial pressure that forced Purdy from the pocket, and then Lambert was able to finish him. 2 3-and-outs for Iowa State. Corey Dunn with a bomb of a kick. Drives the Panther inside his 5. Quan Hampton will take it out past the 10 up to the 12-yard line. So again, Iowa State continues to win the field position battle. A 60-yard punt by Corey Dunn. These two teams coming off contrasting off seasons. For more on that, here's Scooby.
Yeah, Sean, both teams have really had 2 different type of off seasons, but Matt Campbell said this off season was really the largest growth lesson that he's ever had as a head coach. And what they did was keep things weight room focused instead of field focused by zoning in on coaching the fundamentals of the game at each individual position. And he said the results from that is the best that he's ever seen. He said guys are looking like different human beings, bigger, stronger, and faster. And it's a plan that he came up with the strength and conditioning coach, David Andrews. They wanted to make sure guys were healthy and prepared to play this season. And we're going to see if it's going to work out for them today in this matchup. Back to you.
There's a strike. McIlvain able to hit Deion McShane, and UNI with the game's biggest play here in this first quarter. And going back, Sage, to what Scooby was talking about, you take a look at the days since the last game. Northern Iowa with the FCS playing all of their games from February through April. So Mark Farley just had to shake it all up for the Panthers this summer.
It's not only that, as Farley had to deal with guys getting hurt in the springtime, maybe having a surgery in late March or April, and then only have a few months of rehab, much less the time of the year where you're supposed to be getting bigger and faster and stronger. These guys are just trying to rehab from their surgeries. A couple guys just started practicing 2 weeks ago from those injuries from the spring. Meanwhile, Iowa State on the other side, they were totally less into the scrimmages of the spring and more into the strength training and the fine details and the footwork in the spring. 2 very different programs this year because of COVID.
Holding call against UNI wipes out the big game. This is a designated draw by McIlvain, and this is what he does. He's a competitor. He has the ability to move the chains with his feet. That time Iowa State and their young redshirt freshman nose guard J.R. Singleton staying at home.
Yeah, if you want to know what type of athlete and quarterback Will McElvain is, he's the first quarterback in Iowa history to throw for 2,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards. So this is a kid who's not just a thrower, not just a runner. He's a good combination of both, and he has given Iowa State defense a hard time for a number of years.
Pretty much broke every passing record at Des Moines Lincoln. Second down, and the give is to Tyler Hoosman. So here we are, third series for UNI. They have went with 3 different running backs. McShane started. The last series it was Dom Williams, and now it's the most veteran wearing the Panther purple and Hoosman.
Another big third down for Northern Iowa here. They do not want to punt the football again back to Iowa State and give them field position near the 50-yard line. At some point, they got to start moving the football.
Cyclones have showed the ability to get to the quarterback already. A couple of sacks. They rush only 2. McElvain, nobody open downfield, and he throws off his back foot, somehow gets it to McShane, and he has all sorts of green. Deion McShane to midfield. 40 yards, and how about the competitive fire from McElvain when it looked like he was dead to rights?
What a play by Will McElvain to shake off the tackle, to find the guy who's the only guy who's open on the field. Iowa State only rushes 2 on this play with a spy for McElvain. That's how much they respect his running ability. He gets out of that tackle, makes a play, the first big play by both teams in this ballgame.
Not too many escaped the wrath of Will McDonald. McElvain was able to do it. Big play for the Panthers on first down. They try to stretch it. Falling ahead for 3-4 yards is Williams.
You see Mike Rose identifying that outside run play with the guard and the tackle both pulling. He shoots the gap, almost makes a tackle for loss in the Northern Iowa backfield.
Dom Williams spent 3 years in Lawrence. Really never became the feature back at Kansas like so many thought. Hit the transfer portal this spring. And now faced up against another Big 12 linebacker, this time in Rose. A bootleg to the right side. McElvain over the middle. There's the tight end, Jaden Scott. They're happy to have him healthy. There is a flag down. Flag in the secondary near where Scott made the catch.
It's good to see Jaden Scott out there. He's been injured most of his career for Northern Iowa.
Kevin Hassel is our referee today.
Illegal touching on the offense, number 84. Player was covered up and caught the pass. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
It looks like the penalty is that a receiver was on the line the same side as the tight end, which makes him ineligible and he can't catch the football. A mental mistake for the Panthers. Can't have too many of those in this type of ball game against the number 7 ranked team in the country.
Second penalty of this opening quarter on UNI. Second down and 11. Ball on the near hash. McElvain with time. Boy, he put some juice on that throw, and he fires a strike. And Quan Hampton off to the races. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Northern Iowa. 52 yards, and just like that, the Panthers fire the opening salvo.
There's a reason teams love throwing slants, because if you hit it just right and you miss a tackle, you're off to the races. Perfect throw by McElvain, and an unbelievable effort by Quan Hampton to not only make the catch, obviously, but to split the defenders and take it to the house. But the Panthers strike first.
Hampton caught a pass in each of the 7 spring games this year for UNI. His first catch of the fall campaign goes for 6, and no bigger stage than here in Ames. The breakaway ability and then the speed. UNI fires first on the road. Young and old, they love their football here in Ames. And right now, Northern Iowa liking what they're seeing, spoiling the youth's fun. The Panthers, just a few moments ago, putting together an impressive drive, 92 yards, the long touchdown pass to Quan Hampton. And we had an idea the trio of Jayhawks might make an immediate impact for UNI, and Hampton with 3 catches in this first quarter. Iowa State will take it on the touchback as we go back to the touchdown strike, Sage.
Yeah, it looks like to me it's just sort of a two or three step slant on a missed tackle, and the missed tackle by the safety. And really a great play by Hampton, but if you're an Iowa State coach, you got to find a way to get the player down. And they just whiff on him, and he's off to the races. So far Iowa State doing a pretty good job of slowing down the Panthers. 2 big plays on that drive, the McElvain scramble, then obviously that slant for a touchdown.
The Cyclones still looking for their first down, and they will try to get Breece Hall involved, and there he goes. Double-digit yards in the gallop. He'll pick up 13, and let's see if this ignites Iowa State a little bit.
Well, I know for a fact that play, this little sort of option play against the cover 2 look, Iowa State loves to run it. Brock Purdy won't even pitch off anybody, just sort of gets it out there. It's almost of a toss sweep to Breece Hall, and with those safeties deep, there's no one in the hole to make the tackle.
Play fake by Purdy. Looks like he wants to go deep. He's going to take a shot. Has a man out there. And what a catch by Hutchinson.
Iowa State running up to the ball just in case that catch maybe wasn't a catch, and they're going to snap it quick.
False start. Offense, number 87, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Let's go back to that play. Iowa State runs the ball on first down, gets a first down. They come back with the bootleg, but it's a bootleg with a pulling guard. So the quarterback's really good. It's not a full sprint out. He's really sort of staying in the pocket. It allows a lot of time for the quarterback to look downfield, and they have a double move on by Xavier Hutchinson to run all the way across the field, and Brock Purdy puts it on him. Great catch by Xavier Hutchinson.
The Blinn Junior College transfer from a year ago just made a huge splash in year 1 in Ames. We're going to count on him a lot. Here he is again off the screen. Hutchinson takes it up to the 21-yard line. That time they brought out the big left guard, Trevor Downing, to try to throw the kick out block. But boy, Hutchinson emerged last year when this receiving core was getting depleted by injuries. He just stepped up and delivered big-time numbers for the Cyclones.
Well, they were looking for a receiver last year, and they found one in Xavier Hutchinson. At this point a year ago, nobody really knew who this kid was. Yeah, we got a transfer from a junior college, but who was going to be that star? And he ended up being the Big 12 newcomer of the year for the Cyclones.
Iowa State looking for the counter punch. They've taken it to the UNI 22. Quick throw out to Milton. Speaking of health, they're happy to have a healthy Tariq Milton back in uniform. It's the healthiest he's ever been. He's added some weight this offseason, and they're hoping for productive numbers from their fifth-year senior.
Well, when you have one great receiver in Hutchinson, you have to have another 2 or 3 guys to sort of offset him. And Milton's a guy who, over the course of his career, has been very, very productive for Iowa State, not only as a receiver, but also as a punt returner. Last year, his numbers were way down because of injuries. He only played in a couple of ball games. Cyclones are happy to have him back.
This is normally a position for the 2-time All-American Charlie Kohler. He is not in uniform today. Purdy will keep it up the middle, and Brinkman drags him backwards. There's the Missouri Valley Football Conference Defensive Player of the Year, big number 44, Jared Brinkman.
Not only is he physically impressive, but a guy with that much experience, he has seen it all at this point. And what he's also seen on 3rd and 3 is a little quarterback draw on sort of that inside option. And he does a great job staying home, not chasing the running back, and making a big stop on 3rd and 3.
Connor Asali will come out to attempt a 35-yard field goal, 13 of 19 a year ago. Elected to come back for another year. Plenty of leg, and it is perfect. Iowa State, 6 plays, 57 yards. Asali with the field goal, and with that, he now passes Jeff Shudak for 2nd place all time in scoring for kickers throughout his career. Shudak, the Council Bluffs St. Albert native.
Well, one thing about Asali is he doesn't have the big leg. He's made a lot of field goals from about 43 on in, but once you get to that 50 range, they'll probably go with a different guy. Andrew Melvis is the guy for the long kicks and for the kickoffs. And so, yeah, Asali, one of 6 seniors for Iowa State to come back. A couple of those guys very easily could have been drafted. Maybe not 1st or 2nd rounders, but there's some 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders in there. I know for a fact, talking to some NFL GMs, like, yeah, we could have taken that guy in the later rounds. They come back for a 6th year. Why? Because they believe in Matt Campbell, they believe in this program, and they believe in all the possibilities that they could do with their quarterback back, with Breece Hall back, with all the talent on this team. There's a reason that there's so much excitement in Ames. A lot has to do with these 6th-year seniors.
The culture that Campbell has built here in Ames and the turnaround that Iowa State has enjoyed. And a lot of these players just simply don't want it to end. You go back to last year, and it started a little bit shaky for Iowa State. They were stunned by the Ragin' Cajuns, losing here at Jack Tri Stadium 31-14. So everybody left scratching their head, but no panic for the Cyclones. They bounced back. 3 wins over ranked teams, including the big one against Oklahoma. Knock off the Cowboys in a last-second field goal to oust Texas. And then the Fiesta Bowl, that's where they put it all together. They shook off the frustrations of the Big 12 championship game. Campbell hoists the trophy, and now they have all these starters back, 19 in all, geared up, and they're not only thinking Big 12 championship, but possibly a playoff spot for this veteran-laden Cyclone team.
And there's Mike Rhodes again, shooting the gap. You know, going back to last year, you know, with that first loss against Louisiana, you didn't realize that Louisiana ends up being the 19th ranked team in the country. That's a quality football game. But when these early games, you have a loss like that, it was sort of stunned the Iowa State team and the Iowa State fans. And they ended up recovering from that. Won a lot of close games, went to TCU, won by a field goal. Obviously, the Oklahoma game for them was huge.
McElvain against a 3-man rush on the drag route underneath, minimal gain. This will bring up 3rd down and 12. They are getting Quan Hampton involved in a number of ways already. 4 catches. We saw him on the first down sweep. So clearly they feel they have an advantage with Hampton. And now here comes this defense and this crowd on 3rd and long. Northern Iowa not interested in running another play. They'll use the quarter break to talk. And the first quarter in the books on a beautiful Saturday. Welcome back, college football. Iowa State ranked 7th in the country. All jacked up. The Panthers from Cedar Falls proving they're here to stay. Cyclones, Panthers, UNI by 4 after 1. Welcome back to Ames, 3rd and 12 for McIlvain and the Panthers. He's going to take a shot deep downfield, receiver open, and a missed opportunity for UNI. Isaiah Weston had gotten behind the Cyclones secondary.
The Cyclones change it up on that one rather than just sort of sitting back, rushing 2, rushing 3, and trying to keep McIlvain in the pocket. They come after him, which exposes them on the back end, and McIlvain just can't come up with the throw. Overthrows his receiver, had a huge opportunity to make a big play in this ball game.
That is a throw McIlvain would love to have back. His first incompletion today. He was perfect on his first 6 throws. It's been the UNI passing game in this first half. Murphy on the punt. High rainbow kick angled toward the Panthers sideline. Touched around the 40. It's like the 41-yard line. 36-yard punt. Good starting position for Iowa State.
It's really been a game so far of just 3 big plays in the game. You got the Quan Hampton catch and run for a touchdown. You've got the scramble by McIlvain to Deion McShane for the big third down conversion. And obviously the bootleg throwback to Xavier Hutchinson. Other than that, both teams have not done much offensively.
Purdy 6 of 7 for 46 yards. First down from the 41. This will be Hall. Look at the patience that he runs with, and that's what stood out the more you watched him last year. He has the deceptive breakaway speed, but his patience, his ability to break tackles, second to none.
Yeah, you don't want to burst to the hole. You want to burst through the hole. And he does have that patience. He finds his spot, and once he makes a decision, he shoots through it like a bullet. And he's got that breakaway speed, but he also has the power when there's nothing there to get behind his pads and get those 2 or 3 tough yards.
Just his 3rd touch in this first half. There's a perfect example. Look at the spins from Hall. Last year, he made 68 defenders miss, 68 missed tackles a season ago among his heavy workload with the 280 carries.
Iowa State with back-to-back running backs. David Montgomery, the Chicago Bears starting running back, he too had unbelievable balance and the ability to shake off tacklers when they caught him near the line of scrimmage. And now with Breece Hall, Iowa State trying to use him a little bit more, all right, trying to wear down this Northern Iowa defense.
Jared Hufford is checked in. They go with their jumbo package on 3rd and short. And the pile moves ahead. Hall with a first down, 3 straight carries as they try to get the All-American, one of 4 Walter Camp Player of the Year nominees this year for Iowa State going.
And on that play, they ran behind Trevor Downing, that left guard. He missed all. He played the first game but missed the rest of the season last year. It's nice to have him back on that Iowa State offensive line.
Downing injured in the season opener against Louisiana. He was a second-team All-American at left guard 2 years ago. First down and 10. Here is Hall, this time as a receiver. Breece Hall up to the 40-yard line.
The thing about Hall is he also has the all-purpose yards. He's not just a guy you give the ball to in the backfield. They like to throw him screens. They like to get him on the edge and just get him in space because he's so electric once he has the ball in his hands.
He'll get a quick breather. Jyrell Brock will be his main backup this year, and they're excited about the redshirt sophomore from Quincy. Really made an impact in the second half of the year with his pass protection. He became a valuable back off the bench. He'll get his first call, and a nice hole opens up near the sticks. Should be enough. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like Brock should have enough for the first down.
A lot of offenses, when they get to this part of the field, they like to take a shot. There's enough room to throw a deep post route or a go route. You start getting closer to about the 20-yard line. The field just shrinks. Look for the Cyclones to possibly take a shot at the end zone here on the first down.
You look at this UNI defense, they weren't too sure if they were going to get Bronte Wells and Devin Rice in uniform today, but both those outstanding ends on the field now for UNI. Those are guys we talked about with the short off season playing last spring. Both were dinged up and really just returned to practice full contact for the first time this week. And the depth of UNI on that defensive line is really good, and Wells and Rice are 2 big reasons.
Yeah, that is the strength of their team. And to come back from surgery, I mean, you got to really think about that. You have surgery, you're rehabbing. There's no way you're spending the time in the weight room, but you just can't get those types of workouts. You can't get those types of agility drills and sprinting drills that you get, all the summer. You're rehabbing and just trying to get healthy. And a couple of these guys just got healthy a couple weeks ago.
Saw Trevor Downing leave the field for Iowa State, the left guard who we were just talking about. We'll keep an eye on that. First down for the Cyclones. Brock again falling ahead for 3. You look at a guy like Jyrell Brock, and really hasn't got the carries, but he's never wavered in his commitment to the culture of this team and his relationship that he's built with Breece, watching him succeed. And again, it goes back to what Campbell has built here in Ames.
Yeah, it's healthy competition in a way, and I think that running back room, you have your superstar, but you can see the culture. People like playing and the guys who are the 2s and the 3s, there's no complaint on this football team.
Purdy is going to throw, has all sorts of time. He'll take a shot to the end zone, making the catch, but out of bounds was Joe Skates. Excellent job by Omar Brown. He used the sideline as a defender, and Skates had no room to make the catch.
You know, Skates has got to leave Brock Purdy just a little more room to throw that back shoulder, and that is Joe Skates' specialty. He's a 50-50 guy. You know, he's not great at running all the underneath routes. You give him a chance one-on-one to the outside, and he comes down with it. On that one, he was just out of bounds.
Brown, one of the top cover corners in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Jeremiah Johnson, the defensive coordinator for UNI, really high on his two corners, Brown and Evans. In fact, Brown had 6 interceptions. He was a ball hawk a couple of years ago.
Timeout. Iowa State, their first.
Iowa State with the timeout. Cyclones with an impressive drive, grinding it down. They'll have 3rd and 6 when we come back. A 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, Matt Campbell, knew this was going to be a dogfight, and this Panther defense certainly has responded. A 7-3 UNI lead. Iowa State looking at 3rd down and 6. Cyclones just 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. UNI brings pressure. They pick it up, swing it out to Hall, has his 2nd catch, and Breece Hall has the 1st down. Whipped out of bounds by Brecky. Javon Brecky, the junior from Minneapolis, but Hall with 4 rushes on this drive and now used twice out of the backfield as a receiver.
He is a multi-purpose back. You know, Northern Iowa, they do not like to blitz. Mark Farley the other day said if you're blitzing, you're guessing. And when you have man-to-man all over the place and you have that type of matchup with your running back, that's not good for Northern Iowa.
Easton Dean, the H-back, he's lined up to the right. That's Jared Russ in motion. Purdy is going to throw, wants to take a shot toward Milton, and he is well covered Austin Evans with the blanket coverage.
You do see Iowa State continually moving the pocket for Brock Purdy. It's either a quick bubble, get the ball out of his hands, or move the pocket with some sort of bootleg. That's about their 4th so far here in the first half.
This offensive line for Iowa State, it was open competition pretty much all the way up until Wednesday and Thursday. They feel they are deep with everybody back healthy. Second down and 10. Over the right side behind a Jared Russ block. Cyclones inside the Panther red zone, bringing up a 3rd down. What do you like here, Sage, for Matt Campbell in this offense?
I like putting it in Brock Purdy's hands and letting him make a decision as far as if it's single safety, let's work this concept over here. 2 safeties, let's work the concept over here so he doesn't have to think too much, get the ball out of his hands. But at the end of the day, 3rd down is where a quarterback makes his money. And Iowa State has a good one in Brock Purdy. This is a big down for this Iowa State offense.
I wonder, too, if it's 4-down territory if Iowa State doesn't pick it up, and it looks like the elusive skills of Hall should net Iowa State another 1st down. So you talk about a drive. This is a statement drive relying on your offensive line to beat up a pretty physical and aggressive UNI front 4, and the Cyclones are getting the job done.
Yeah, you knew Matt Campbell was going to play the marathon game in this one. He wasn't going to get too worried right off the bat if Iowa State struggled in the first quarter. He knew that he's going to play 7, 8, 9 offensive linemen, and through 4 quarters, they're going to try to wear out the Northern Iowa Panthers defensive line, and they're doing it a little bit here in the second quarter.
They have 2 tackles in this formation with Schreiger and Rimsberg. They run the opposite way up to the 10-yard line. Some little shoving and pushing, a little talking after the play. So that time they brought in Rimsberg as an extra offensive lineman. Big-time jumbo package for offensive coordinator Tom Manning.
Yeah, you almost felt that was a statement play. Like, here we're gonna bring our goal line offense in on the 10-yard line, and we're just going to bully you to the end zone. Nice job by Northern Iowa of stuffing Iowa State for only a 2-yard gain.
Hutchinson and Milton, the 2 receivers, right. Hall will come back to join Purdy in the backfield, 2nd and 8. On that zone read, straight up the middle. We haven't seen Purdy run with it a lot in this first half. And another 3rd down. Seems like we've been down this path before. This will be the 14th play of this drive. They've taken up over 6.5 minutes off the game clock.
You will see Tom Manning, Iowa State's offensive coordinator. He will run with their quarterback, Brock Purdy. You know, he's not a sprinter. He's not a guy who's going to break off a 60-yarder, but he is extremely savvy, in particular on 3rd downs and inside the 10-yard line.
Purdy loved Hutchinson in these situations a year ago. He's flanked to the top of the field. Purdy looks left, puts some air on the throw, some contact in the end zone, and here comes the flag. It looked like it was Benny Sapp, the transfer from Minnesota, who got tangled up with the Cyclone receiver.
Pass interference. Defense, number 9. The foul occurred in the end zone.
I'm going to age myself because I did play with Benny Sapp's dad for the Minnesota Vikings. A very, very good player. He ends up, of course, living in Eden Prairie where the Vikings used to practice, and now he's playing for the Northern Iowa Panthers just like his father did. And Northern Iowa on that one, Jeremiah Johnson, he dialed up the all-out blitz. And when you're a defender versus an all-out blitz, you have to play inside because you have no help. You have no free safety, which means those corner routes at about the 5-10-yard line, those are gold for an offense. And Benny Sapp with nowhere to go, he's by himself on an island, and he holds the Iowa State receiver and ends up getting the penalty.
1st and goal, Breece Hall looking in. Cyclones score for the first time in this new year. They find the pay dirt. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Again, they go to that left side. Sean Foster, one of those 6th-year super seniors for the Cyclones. They run his way with their All-American tailback, and they get their first touchdown of the day. You also see Chase Allen, another super senior, on that left side as a tight end, who is the tight end today for the Cyclones, obviously as they're missing their star, Charlie Kohler.
A monster 15-play drive uncorked by Iowa State. Breece Hall, for the 13th consecutive game, has found the end zone. Iowa State with their first lead. The sun shining here in Ames on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. The Cyclone fans breathing a little bit easier for the first time. They have the lead. Breece Hall with the short touchdown run. Now a school record 13 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. And you talk about a man's drive, 15 plays, 59 yards, over 7 minutes off the clock for the Cyclones.
Yeah, I think Matt Campbell wanted to set the tone, sort of reset the tone in this ball game and just go mano a mano. We're going to bully you up on this drive, and they did exactly that with those 15 plays.
So let's see what you and I can do. And when they've been most effective, it's been Will McElvain using his scrambling ability and his athleticism to create open plays downfield.
And he's got a couple good players to throw him to. Obviously, Isaiah Weston and Deion McShane and Quan Hampton have come up with 2 huge plays in this ball game. Those smaller guys, they can be hard to tackle, and those guys are electric in the open field.
Quan Hampton with the touchdown reception. And you take a look at what UNI has done in this first half as they begin their 5th offensive series, 3 punts, and then they have that 5-play, 92-yard drive with the 2 big plays created by McElvain. Second and third effort, and not going down is Dom Williams. Runs into the secondary personnel for Iowa State. Tough running from the graduate student out of Independence.
John Haycock deciding for his defense that he is going to try to protect the pass. They've run a couple of bubble screens to the outside, should have forced Northern Iowa to run the football again. They're only 3.0 yards per rush in the spring of 2021. Try to force him to run the football, see if his inside guys can hold up.
McElvain off a play fake. Receiver open near sideline, and toe dragging in is Quan Hampton. Another catch for Hampton, already 5 catches in this football game. We still have over 6 minutes to go until half.
And tell you what a throw by McElvain. You know, sort of the far hash, the comeback. It's about a 35-yard throw. He threw it on a line and had great time. Great job by the offensive line. Great accuracy by Will McElvain.
7 of 8 in this first half for 112 yards. McElvain, who has been the 2-year starter for UNI. He started 21 of their last 23 games, and a big hole for Williams again into the secondary. 11 more yards in a UNI first down.
You know, Don Williams, you see him in Northern Iowa, he was the 17th best running back in the country coming out of high school. This kid's been highly recruited, ends up with the Panthers. He's got a ton of talent and 2 nice runs here so far late in the second quarter.
He really showed flashes. You talked about this offense struggling at times, just 3 yards per carry, but Williams had some flashes this spring. He had a 2-touchdown game against Youngstown State. Running back by committee for UNI. McElvain rolls right. He can run if he wants, and he will tuck it in, go into a protective slide to the 31. 7 more yards, shadowed by Hummel.
I promise you 2 years ago, Will McElvain does not make that slide. All right,
I agree.
You play in college football for a while and you realize how big these guys are, and they're out to get you. And the older you get, the more likely you are to slide. So I definitely learned that lesson the hard way a few times when I was a young player.
We might see some of your old footage before this day is done, your scrambling ability.
All my footage is old.
Here is Williams over the right side. Dom Williams to the 30. Tell you what, they did not give McElvain a real good spot on that first down run. And now 3rd and short for UNI. You got to imagine 4-down territory for Mark Farley and the Panthers. And we talked about this Iowa State offensive line. UNI feels they have one of the best in the country at left tackle in Trevor Penning. We'll see if they go behind big number 70.
And his brother, Jared, at left guard.
A lot of NFL interest with Penning for the Panthers.
The Panthers have 12 men on the field, 4 receivers, a tight end, and a running back.
Prior to the foul, for 12 players in formation, timeout.
So it looks like UNI was able to get the timeout before the flag, and that's big for Mark Farley. 3rd and short, a good one in Ames as we welcome back college football. Will McElvain with a solid start here on the road. 7 of 8, the 112 yards, the 1 touchdown pass. Purdy effective, 8 of 11. Really hasn't opened up his arsenal deep downfield quite yet. 3rd down and short. Hoosman is the running back. He's joined by Bradrick Shaw. And this will be Shaw, the transfer from Cal, able to elude a couple of defenders. Tough run and his first touch of the game, and a UNI first down.
You know, you clog up the inside, and usually that ball ends up bouncing outside, whether to a corner or to a safety. And this time it bounced to Greg Eisworth, Iowa State's 3-time first-team All Big 12 safety, and he makes him miss on the tackle. So Eisworth can't come up the tackle. First down for the Panthers.
Eisworth doesn't miss too many of those. Just one of 11 players in Big 12 history to earn 3 first-team All Big 12 honors. McElvain cut down to the backfield. Nowhere to go. He could not get away. Anthony Johnson, the corner, coming in with the play.
You know, one thing John Haycock talked about in the conference call this week is it doesn't matter if you're a corner or you're a safety or you're a nickel. If you're a secondary player, you tackle on this defense. Great job by Anthony Johnson.
Johnson's really put on some weight. He arrived on campus at 160 pounds, now checking in his senior year at 200. Top cover corner for Iowa State. 2nd down and 12 for UNI. 3:33 to go in this first half. Panthers down 3. McElvain gets rid of it quickly. McShane the catch.
You know, a really safe play there for Northern Iowa. When you have a team, a defense that walks up and they've got all the guys in the gaps and you're not sure if they're going to blitz or not, and then at the snap they either come or they back out, a nice safe play. It's sort of good either way, whether they blitz or whether they don't, are those bubble screens to the outside. Nice job on the pursuit by the Iowa State defense.
McElvain with time, swings it out to Williams, and he dropped it. And now UNI looking at a long field goal possibility. Let's see if they send out Matthew Cook, and they will.
You know, historically, this has not been a high-scoring matchup for these two teams. I think it's the style of Mark Farley and the way he plays it close to the vest. They like to run the ball and play great defense. And, of course, Iowa State's defense is one of the best in the Big 12.
Cook has been a good one throughout his years in Cedar Falls. This one from the near hash, 41 yards away, plenty of leg, and UNI ties it up. Matthew Cook and the Panthers. Farley happy. They're tied at 10 with Iowa State. Thousands affected by Hurricane Ida urgently need support. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond to and help people recover from this disaster. Just heartbreaking scenes in the aftermath of Ida. UNI and Iowa State in the battle. Sage Cyclone fans all across the country probably whispering to one another, here we go again with this Panther bunch.
And they have seen this movie before. Just 2 years ago, triple overtime for Iowa State to beat Northern Iowa. And to be honest, in that game, Northern Iowa had every opportunity multiple times to win that game. I would say Iowa State got lucky against the Panthers in 2019, and we're right at it again. And I think Matt Campbell knew going to this ball game. I think when you're a Power 5 school and you play an FCS school, there's this natural thought that we're just going to line up and beat these guys. It never happens with Northern Iowa. It doesn't happen for the Hawkeyes over there in Iowa City, and it doesn't happen here in Ames with Iowa State.
It's Iowa State offense finding their rhythm their last 2 drives. This time Purdy right on the button finds Hutchinson, and that's close to a first down. Looks like 10 yards, and the Cyclones with 2.5 minutes to go, 2 timeouts, plenty of time. One of the more potent offenses from a year ago.
Yeah, this is a big drive. I tell you, really good football teams, they score at the end of the first half, and they don't give up points at the end of the first half.
Reese Hall up past the 40 to the 41-yard line. Corby Sander in on the stop, making a triumphant return from a serious knee injury earlier in his career, and they're really high on the 2 safeties, Sapp and Sander. Second down play for Purdy. Spins around in the pocket, dances, and throws it away. Tried to hit Chase Allen. Again, no Charlie Kohler today, the 2-time All-American for Iowa State. He was a game-time decision, a lower body injury, not in uniform. So Allen and Easton Dean, we've seen a lot of Jared Russ. Kohler certainly a big absence for the Cyclones, especially on these third down situations. Really has become the safety valve the last couple of years for Purdy. UNI runs a stunt, picked up nicely by the Cyclones. Hutchinson makes another catch, knew where the sticks were, and a first down.
If you wonder why teams will have, say, 3 receivers on one side or run some sort of slot formation, it's so you can get some sort of wide receiver matched up on a linebacker, and that's what Tom Manning did there with Xavier Hutchinson.
Hutchinson with his 5th catch. 12 more yards. Iowa State still plenty of time, 2 timeouts.
Yeah, we are inside of 2 minutes, but with the clock stopping past the 50-yard line, really no hurry for this Iowa State offense.
First and 10, Iowa State. Purdy looking right. Looked like he wanted to go back across the field. Instead settles to Hutchinson. 3 straight catches for the Big 12 newcomer of the year, Xavier Hutchinson, out of Jacksonville. Started his career at Blinn Junior College in Texas.
I love how Iowa State is moving the pocket with Brock Purdy. What, some sort of bootleg or just sort of a quarter roll, just move him from that spot so the defensive line doesn't know where he's going to be on every pass play.
6 catches, 88 yards for Hutchinson, who has hopes of eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark this year. Good start here this afternoon. Brees Hall over the left side. Hall twisting his way up to the 23. Alfonso Lambert, he's been active, the hybrid position for UNI in on the stop.
Well, as we cross under a minute here at the end of the first half, we're going to see how Matt Campbell manages his offense, see if they take a few shots at the end zone, but also not leave Northern Iowa with any time for them to have a chance to score any points at the end of the half.
Jalen Knoll lost his footing. Knoll with his 2nd catch, and now Iowa State will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. So the Cyclones with 1 timeout left, 36 seconds to go, tied at 10. And you go back to 2016, and UNI was able to come to Ames and get the win. The Panthers showed up ready to go against the Cyclones. Mark Farley and company, proud representatives of the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Javion Browning's touchdown run with less than 3 minutes to go put UNI out in front. And then Joel Lanning, desperation mode late, is picked off. And UNI celebrates the win back in 2016. Ironically, Matt Campbell's first year on the Cyclones sideline. And you take a look at what Farley's been able to do. 10th coach in FCS history with 150 wins. Two-time coach of the year, and undoubtedly the most difficult conference at the FCS level, the Missouri Valley Football Conference. When you look at North Dakota State, South Dakota State, some of the heavyweights in the country, that's who UNI bumps heads with each and every year.
And he has been a consistent force up in Cedar Falls and has led this program for over 2 decades.
3rd and 2 for Iowa State. Purdy brought the ball back in, and he's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. Keep an eye on the clock. Again, the Cyclones with 1 timeout left.
Looks like Northern Iowa. Are they going to call timeout? No, they're not calling timeout. Not really sure what either team. Looks like Iowa State's going to run it down to leave as little time as possible. I'm a bit surprised that Northern Iowa didn't call timeout, just in case they got a good return on the kickoff. And Iowa State for years has struggled with their kickoffs. A bit surprised here at them not calling a timeout and be a little bit more conservative with Mark Farley.
So Campbell will watch the clock wind down, and he will call the timeout with 2 seconds to go, and a field goal coming up for Connor Asali, who connected earlier today from 35 yards. Jared Brinkman, Tim Butcher, some of the nasties inside for UNI.
It does look like Asali is not going to be the kicker on this attempt, but they're going to go with Andrew Mevis, who is more for kickoffs and the longer field goals. And I'm not sure if they think this is outside of Asali's range. I don't think it is, but they're going to go with Mevis, who's more their longer field goal kicker.
Yeah, Mevis, Campbell was really high on that 50 and beyond when talking to the coach earlier this week. This will be a 40-yard field goal for Andrew Mevis. His last attempt, 2019, when he was playing for the Rams of Fordham. Has a terrific leg, a right-footed kicker to try to give the Cyclones the lead here at the intermission. Kick is on the way, and it is good. Welcome to Ames, Andrew Mevis, and Iowa State in a dogfight with UNI at the intermission. Cyclones 13, UNI 10.
It's a nice way to end the first half of the Iowa State offense. They started slow in this ball game, started to catch their stride in that second quarter. Now, obviously, the end of the half with points is huge for the Cyclones to take the lead.
Iowa State 169 yards of offense in the first half. UNI with 133, and the Panthers able to get the job done through the air, but the Cyclone rush defense has really contained the Panthers on the ground, just the 16 rushing yards.
I think both teams knew that this game was going to be a dogfight, so that there's going to be no surprises in that locker room. UNI is not surprised that they're right in it, and Iowa State's not surprised at all that this is a tight one. They know it's going to be a 4-quarter ball game, and I think Matt Campbell's got to be pretty happy, in particular the way they ended the half defensively with a couple stops, and obviously getting those points in that 2-minute drive.
Iowa State defense with a couple of sacks in the first half. Knew the Cyclone defense was going to be able to generate some pressure. They did that in the first quarter, but the scrambling ability of McIlvain giving Iowa State some trouble after a couple of quarters. Farley and the Panthers, the Cyclones, battle for Iowa here in Ames.
When the pandemic arrived, time stood still. But the innovators at Iowa State didn't. Their drive went into overdrive, developing models that track and forecast the virus, making data more accessible to scientists and doctors worldwide, collaborating to expand testing capacity for faster results, exploring a viral testing platform as portable as your phone. This is what a changing world needs. Innovation in overdrive.
Belief, a small yet powerful word. For years, belief has allowed us to create a foundation to achieve what only we have believed to be possible. Vision, a guiding light leading us to a goal we have in front of us. A goal that is simple, reach our full potential as individuals, as a team, as a program, as Cyclone Nation. Our belief has never wavered. Our vision has never changed. And we haven't stopped working. We have been built in the dark. We have worked to uphold a standard set by those who proved it before us. And we have raised that standard. We are a team built out of the underdogs, the under-recruited, and the underappreciated. We strive to create the most caring, inspired, and unified team in college football. We are proud of our roots. We are thankful for those whose journey came before ours. We honor those who trailblazed a path for us to reach new heights. We pray for all of those who stand by us and embrace memories that are oh so sweet. We are proud of what we have accomplished. Our journey has been a joy. But we are not done. We are your team, and we fight for honor before victory. Together, our belief and our vision can become reality. We are loyal, we are true, we are Cyclones, and we will.
Well, a battle here in Ames, 13-10, Iowa State out in front. Andrew Mevis with a late field goal in the first half. Cyclones by 3 in the season opener for both teams. Plenty of news and notes across the Big 12. A couple of coaches hoping to make a big debut. Kansas already did with Lance Leipold able to knock off South Dakota last night. The Jayhawks stormed the field, a 3-point win over the Coyotes, and then Texas with an early first half lead. And Steve Sarkisian's first game as the Longhorn head coach. Oklahoma looking for their 7th straight Big 12 title. But Sage, you take a look at the expansion on the horizon. Sounds like this is a done deal.
Well, those invitations have been sent out, and if you look at the 4 teams, BYU is a national brand in their own way. A program that has had a ton of success in the past. Heisman Trophy winners, of course, some great quarterbacks who have played there. Obviously, UCF dipped into that Florida market. We know they do play football in Florida, if you haven't heard. And then obviously Houston, they love their football in Houston. I spent 3 years there. That's a huge market as well. And then Cincinnati has an excellent football program to add to the mix.
Yeah, Cincinnati, much like Iowa State this year, they have national championship aspirations, a top 10 program this year. Take a look at some of the scores coming in. Oklahoma survives a scare from the Green Wave. They put up 40 as they beat Tulane 40-35. As we talked about, Texas with the halftime lead. Kansas State, a nice win over Stanford. And West Virginia with a lead over Maryland. Coming up tonight, TCU Duquesne, Texas Tech Houston, Baylor, Texas State, and then Oklahoma State meeting the Missouri Valley Football Conference with Missouri State.
Yeah, I tell you what, Oklahoma has been, dominant in this conference for the last 7 years. The defense, that's what we show. We know Spencer Rattler is going to be a great player. Let's watch this defense in 2021.
Iowa State leads by 3. We'll be back with more from Ames right after these words. Lofty expectations around Ames, Iowa State in a backyard battle with UNI. 13-10, the 7th-ranked Cyclones out in front of Northern Iowa. Welcome back inside our booth. Sean Kinney alongside Sage Rosenfels. No surprise, sure, Iowa State comes in, the high expectations, but when you take these two schools separated by less than 100 miles, and the way UNI plays football, the Cyclones knew this was going to be a physical game.
Well, these two teams know each other, and both teams are really built around their defenses. Iowa State, one of the best defenses in the Big 12 since Matt Campbell has come here, and Northern Iowa consistently one of the best defenses in the Missouri Valley Conference. And so we knew it was going to be a low-scoring game. I think for the gamblers, it's about 42 is the over-under, and we're right there at 23 in the first half.
You mentioned this Iowa State defense. They had a couple of sacks in the first quarter, McDonald and then Orion Vance, and the Cyclone defense looking good early, but you knew UNI would be up for the challenge, and they were up until the second quarter, but that's when the Cyclones gave the ball to Breece Hall.
Iowa State's done a really nice job of trying to hold Will McElvain in check, and the one time he got out, he made a big-time play for the Panthers. And for Iowa State, it started off slow. They sort of caught their stride there in the second quarter and scored on some key drives right there in the second quarter. But defensively, here's that McElvain play. I mean, he's such an elusive player, and to have a guy like that, it's extremely hard for a defense and for a defensive coordinator. That's their worst nightmare, is a quarterback that can both run and throw.
This was the touchdown pass. UNI able to find Quan Hampton, a 52-yarder. That gave UNI the lead. Hampton with a busy first half. 6 catches for Hampton, the former Kansas Jayhawk. You take a look at the numbers. UNI and their ground game non-existent. Priority for Farley to try to get that going in the second half?
They've really only made a couple plays in this ballgame. They haven't done much offensively. Obviously, you see the 5 first downs, and of the 117 pass yards, 77 came on both the slant for the touchdown and that scramble play by McElvain. So they really haven't done much offensively, and actually probably should feel pretty fortunate to be down just 3 points.
And if you're Iowa State, they were able to get Breece Hall a number of looks in that second quarter. He had just 1 touch in the first quarter. We haven't really seen Brock Purdy open up the passing game. Do you expect that to change in the second half?
If Iowa State can run the ball with Breece Hall, Northern Iowa may start bringing those safeties a little bit closer to the box, and then they'll throw the ball more. But I think right now Iowa State's pretty content with being a little bit more conservative. Northern Iowa does play that bend, don't break style of defense. If you try to be too aggressive in it, next thing you know, you're throwing the ball to the other team. And so I think Iowa State's just going to try to high execute offense, shorter passes. I do love the way they're moving Brock Purdy, get him out of the pocket a little bit, get him as a cleaner place to throw the football. And of course, when there's someone open downfield, he rarely misses.
And Xavier Hutchinson continues to be his favorite target. 6 catches for 88 yards in the first half for the Big 12 newcomer of the year. Cyclones by 3 here at the break. All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Coach Campbell, you said you wanted this team to define who we are so the outside world doesn't define who you are. After trailing 7-0 early on, taking in a 3-point lead, how are you defining who you are?
Yeah, you just keep playing, man. First game of the season, and we're inches away from doing some great things, and we've done some really good things. So we got to keep playing, and we're going to find out a lot about ourselves in the second half. One of the great things you've done is this rushing defense, 16 yards rushing allowed. How impressed are you with that, and what do you need to improve upon in the second half? Well, we just got to keep tackling, and again, it's the first game. We've kind of let a couple things slip from a tackle standpoint, and then same thing offensively. just a hair off on a couple things, but like I said, really excited to see how we respond.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Iowa State by 3 at the intermission. Scooby caught up with Cyclone coach Matt Campbell.
Coach Campbell, you said you wanted this team to define who we are so the outside world doesn't define who you are. After trailing 7-0 early on, taking in a 3-point lead, how are you defining who you are?
Yeah, you just keep playing, man. You know, first game of the season, and you know, we're inches away from doing some great things, and we've done some really good things. So we got to keep playing, and we're going to find out a lot about ourselves in the second half.
One of the great things you've done is this rushing defense, 16 yards rushing allowed. How impressed are you with that, and what do you need to improve upon in the second half?
Well, you know, we just got to keep tackling, you know, and again, it's the first game. We've kind of let a couple things slip from a tackle standpoint, and then same thing offensively, just a hair off on a couple things. But like I said, really excited to see how we respond.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Brock Purdy, just an incredible leader both on and off the field. He talked about how he tried to take some pressure off himself this offseason, try to find some fun things to do around campus and not dial in so much on football. You need those times away, and he's just become such an incredible leader for this Cyclone unit, and they are in a battle here today with UNI. They will get the football first as Hutchinson with the return. The flag is down at the 32, so we'll wait and see what this is all about. Kevin Hassel, our referee this afternoon.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Receiving team number 23. Unnecessary roughness. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. That is number 23's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
So this is a rivalry game. Somebody losing their cool in the unsportsmanlike conduct call against Iowa State. So the Cyclones will be starting deep in their own end.
Yeah, not a great way to start the half. If you watch a lot of Iowa State football games or watch a lot of Big 12 games, and you see Iowa State doesn't return a lot of kickoffs. Matt Campbell does not want this situation. They don't want a holding penalty or clipping penalty, or in this situation, an unsportsmanlike conduct where you're backed up at your 10, 11 yard line to start the half. If they would have just fair caught it, they get the ball at the 25.
Purdy in the first half, 13 of 17, a very efficient 105 yards. Breece Hall loses a yard on first down. Hall, who was very quiet in the first quarter, Iowa State made a conscious effort to get him serious touches in that second quarter. 12 rushes, 50 yards today for one of the nation's best.
He's one of those types of backs that you can give him the ball 25 or 30 times a game, and it might be 3 yards, 4 yards, 2 yards for much of those carries, but at some point he seems to always break one and go the distance.
Opening series, second half from a sold-out Jack Trice Stadium. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Iowa. Purdy with all sorts of time. Now the pocket collapses. Brock Purdy will tuck it and run. First down yardage as he gallops to the 28. 18 yards, finally corralled by Benny Sapp.
Northern Iowa playing sort of a matchup zone there, nowhere to go with the ball for the Iowa State quarterback. And great job by the offensive line just to keep fighting, keep blocking. And at some point, Brock Purdy will just make a play. And he finds a little soft spot in that defense, finds a hole, squirts through it, and picks up a big first down for Iowa State.
He doesn't run a lot, but boy, when he does, it's effective. Close to 400 yards on the ground last year. Here's that quick option pitch, and nowhere to go. Pursuit defense by Northern Iowa. Panthers just swarming to the football. Omar Brown was the first one in there, along with Bryce Flater. We weren't even sure we'd see Flater. He was recently cleared to play like so many of these Panthers, but he has been a tackle machine for UNI throughout his time.
And it's not always easy to run that option into the short field. If you recall the old Big 8 days with Nebraska and Texas, they run that option to the wide field. When you run to that short field, there's just not a lot of space for the running back to work.
Purdy gets rid of it quickly, caught and tackled immediately. Darren Wilson with his first catch. Austin Evans was right with him. Wilson, the senior from Alpharetta, Georgia, third year in Ames, started his career at Butler Community College.
And that was one of those RPOs. There was a running play called, but if the cornerback is off, 7-8 yards from the wide receiver, you have that sort of soften off and just take it. Brock Purdy takes it with an accurate completion on that second down.
Wilson really brings the complete package, the tall frame at 6'3", plus tremendous speed. Third down, Purdy looking downfield, finally settles and throws wide of Allen, incomplete. He had time, the offensive line gave him protection. The tight end group quiet, obviously no Charlie Kohler today, but tight end's really not active in this passing game thus far, Sage.
And Chase Allen did a nice job running his route and sort of find a soft spot in that zone defense. And Purdy got a little bit of pressure and just missed a throw. That's going to be one he's going to want back. Big stop here for the Panthers to start the half with a third down stop.
Quan Hampton awaiting the punt from Corey Dunn. Dunn had a 60-yard punt earlier today. Fair catch signaled for by Hampton. So UNI, a Panther defense, forces the Cyclone punt. We'll watch Will McBain and UNI go to work, trailing by 3.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
What's the most complex industry on Earth? It isn't big data or commodities, not genetics or meteorology or even logistics. It's a business that involves them all. It's farming, and we're proud to work with generations of American farmers in the most complex and rewarding industry on Earth.
At US Cellular, we know the local landscape, so we can help everyone stay connected for less.
Right now, get up to $1,200 off any 5G phone. The choice is yours.
Whether it's adapting the network for a strong signal where you work, or optimizing your coverage where you play, we're always hard at work to make sure our state-of-the-art 5G network works for you.
Up to $1,200 off any 5G phone with no trade-in or hidden fees.
US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless.
During the Gear Up for Fall event at Van Wall Equipment, take advantage of the great deals and low financing options on a wide selection of John Deere equipment. From 0% financing to up to $1,200 off select mowing equipment. We have something for everybody. Inventories are limited, so stop into a Van Wall location today and gear up for fall on a brand new John Deere.
When the pandemic arrived, time stood still. But the innovators at Iowa State didn't. Their drive went into overdrive, developing models that track and forecast the virus, making data more accessible to scientists and doctors worldwide, collaborating to expand testing capacity for faster results, exploring a viral testing platform as portable as your phone. This is what a changing world needs. Innovation in overdrive.
Alongside Scooby Mageza, Sage Rosenfeld, Sean Kinney with you from Ames, Mark Farley and the Panthers trailing by 3. Will McIlvain in this offense ready to go to work. It's Tyler Hoosman. Scooby caught up with Mark Farley, and I got to believe, Scooby, he's pretty happy with his team's effort through the first half.
Yeah, but besides that, being happy about the first half, I asked him about their struggling running game, and he said they just need to score points. He doesn't care how they do it in the air or the ground. They just need to score. And about striking first and keeping this game closer than most expected, he said they now know who we are, and in the second half, the Cyclones are going to find out who they are. Back to you.
He relishes the role of playing physical football, and you could just hear it in the tone of his voice when we talked to him this week as McIlvain will tuck it in and run, and he'll go into the slide near the UNI sideline about a yard shy of the first down. But this is a Panther team that wants to play smash mouth football. That's how they built their reputation throughout the years. That's why when you talk to high school coaches across the state, it's Iowa, Iowa State, and UNI. It's a winning type of football. But he could not go physical this summer because of the schedule. I think he said they had 2 live contact drills this offseason. That's not UNI football.
Yeah, he's a smash mouth type guy. You're in a lot of close ball games, and when you have the offensive lines that he produces, you win a lot of those ball games in the Missouri Valley Conference.
3rd and short, and a 2nd and 3rd surge over the right side. Was not there initially, but just waiting to make his move was Bradrick Shaw. His first year at UNI. Started his career at Wisconsin. His best year was his redshirt freshman year in the Big Ten. He rushed for close to 500 yards. Transferred to Cal last year. The Pac-12 started late. He only played in 3 of Cal's 4 games, was not happy on the West Coast. So here he is in Cedar Falls. Looked like somebody flinched up front on the UNI line.
Ball start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Now, Sage, you look at this offensive line anchored by Trevor Penning on the left tackle position. Justin Piney is the guy that provides some depth. Eric Sorensen, he's been part of the rotation at center the last 2 years. Antoine Frazier is the new guy at guard, the transfer from Kansas. After the penalty, McIlvain trying to move the pocket, had nowhere to go, undershot his receiver. That's Logan Wolf, the redshirt freshman from Cedar Falls, a local product. There is that big offensive line for the Panthers with Trevor Penning, the 2 Penning brothers. Trevor went to Mason City Newman Catholic. Jared attended Clear Lake High School. Those 2 roommates now in Cedar Falls. Frazier, the newcomer, and then Matt Vanderslice. He's a veteran, the 5th-year senior at right tackle. He started the game for UNI 2 years ago here in Ames. Rose comes on a blitz. McIlvain nowhere to go. Both linebackers that time, Vance and Rose, putting the heat on.
You get a sense that some of the blitzes that John Haycock is calling for Iowa State are not necessarily to get to the quarterback, but just to keep him in the pocket. If you only rush 3, a lot of times there's an edge there for McIlvain to scramble and make a play. When you rush 5, you've got good discipline on the outside. You keep him in the pocket. Nice job by Mike Rose, the All-American linebacker for Iowa State, keeping Will McIlvain in the pocket and causing a tough throw.
Keep an eye on number 9 on that Iowa State defensive line. This is where he just rears back and comes after you. Will McDonald tries the spin move. It's picked up, drag route across the field. It's Wolf with the catch, but a good open field tackle by Aisheem Young.
You know, Kansas really appreciates how good Will McDonald is. They had both the right guard and right tackle assigned to block the Iowa State defensive end. Iowa State decides to play back, play 4 or 5 guys deep, allow that pass to come underneath and come up and make the tackle. That's a really big stop for the Iowa State defense after Northern Iowa got a first down on the to start that drive.
Isheem Young with that last stop. He led all Big 12 freshmen a season ago with 50 tackles. Very violent physical safety for the Cyclones. A lot of anticipation for Iowa State football this year, and it was announced less than a month ago that the ticket base has set a new record. 48,000 tickets sold as far as season tickets, 49,300, the most in school history in states. We were laughing off air when you were playing here at Iowa State. What was the type of crowd that was coming, and where has this puppy grown over the past couple of decades?
Well, it's pretty amazing to come in here and see 61.5. My senior year, 2000, we had about 33,000 people at that first game of the year against the University of Ohio.
Purdy looks downfield, open in the zone coverage, making the catches. Skates with 15 yards on first down, finding the hole in the zone.
A really nice play design by Todd Manning, sort of an inside post and an outside post to clear out those safeties and corners on the right-hand side. And then the Iowa State receiver streaking across from the other side, sort of gets lost in the shuffle. Great anticipation, great accuracy by Brock Purdy.
Skates at one time the fastest Cyclone in the 100-meter dash, 6'2", 200-pounder, just had a huge fall camp. They are expecting him to produce this year. 1st and 10, Iowa State at the 35. This will be Breece Hall trying to slither his way, but Brinkman says, nuh-uh, not on my watch, just sliding down from his nose tackle position.
Yeah, Dwight, Brinkman likes these types of games, all right? He doesn't like teams that spread it all out and go 4 or 5 wides. He, I'm sure, is very excited for the challenge when you say, all right, they've got the best running back in the country. They led the nation in rushing last year with that tailback Breece Hall. Bring it on, and he is having a heck of a ball game so far, really controlling the interior of these lines today.
Farley says he just has a tenacity to play this sport. Reckless abandonment for Jared Brinkman. Checking down on that little cut from the running back, it's Hall. Good job there by Purdy. Nobody open downfield. Little angle route coming out of the backfield for Breece Hall.
People love to talk about quarterbacks' arm strength and throwing the ball down the field and comeback routes and post routes. Those little Texas routes, little angle routes coming out of the backfield, you hit a running back on the run, he squirts through, misses a tackle. Sometimes those little 4 or 5 yard passes, of course, those are my favorites, right? Throw the ball 4 yards, they end up going for 60. Nice job by Northern Iowa keeping that to a short gain.
UNI has done a really good job containing Hall, just the 50 yards on the ground today. Another 3rd down situation for the Cyclones. Purdy whips it out, and the ball popped free. Let's see if they say that was a catch. It went high up into the air. A couple of hard hits put on by Omar Brown and Javon Brecky.
Looks like to me initially the Iowa State receiver had a first down, but when that ball is fumbled, it went backwards a yard or 2. You have to see this replay.
Yeah, it looked like the helmet of Brown just hit the nose of the football, and the question becomes, where did it go out of bounds at? Tough to tell from this angle. It clearly went backwards.
Fumbled in the field of play forward. Therefore, it will be brought back to the spot of the fumble. 4th down.
I think they're going to be about a half a yard shy, Sage. And they are. And Iowa State is going to send out the punting unit to the dismay of 61,500 strong here in Ames.
The small details in football will get you beat sometimes. That's one of those things you're right there by the sidelines. Usually the biggest hits in football games, sometimes it's over the middle with the receiver, but by the sidelines there's some big hits. Really nice play by Omar Brown.
UNI will keep 10 around the line of scrimmage. See if Iowa State has any tricks up their sleeve here. 4th and less than a yard. Nope, Corey Dunn is going to kick it away. Line drive punt. And this one wobbles out of bounds. No change here in the 3rd quarter. Both defenses buckling in Ames. Tonight, there's more Big 12 football action exclusively on ESPN+. First up, Oklahoma State opens up the year against Missouri State and head coach Bobby Petrino in Stillwater, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. And then dual threat quarterback Max Duggan leads TCU against Duquesne at 8 o'clock on ESPN+. Big 12 now on ESPN+ has you covered with 8 football games over the first 2 weeks of the year. We talked about the physicality that Aisheem Young brings to the table. Well, here you go. Boom.
Tell you what, if you followed the Indianapolis Colts over the years, there's a guy named Bob Sanders who is a safety who looks to me a little bit, I think Aisheem actually might be bigger than Bob, but a shorter guy who just loves to hit.
2nd down and 9, McElvain a play fake. He rifles it over near the sticks, giving some ground, and that cost UNI a first down. Making the catch was the Panther Quan Hampton. He's had a busy day, but he tried to get more yardage and he went backwards, and that sets up a 3rd down.
Yeah, Northern Iowa has these smaller receivers in Hampton and McShane's, and they are hard to tackle. Iowa State doing a nice job getting him on the ground and setting up this 3rd and short.
Here comes this crowd at Ames. 3rd and 2 for UNI. McElvain will hand it off, and moving the sticks is Dom Williams across the 40. The Panthers convert on 3rd down, running behind the Pinnings on the left side. Let's check in with Scooby.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. I went over to the UNI sideline, and Coach Farley called over the offense and really chewed into them, letting them know that they are just as strong. They can keep up with this team as they did in the first half, and it's going to take a second effort. They know who they are, so let's see what they can do on this drive.
Panthers fake the jet sweep motion. They'll run to the boundary side. Once again, it's Dom Williams. Williams out past the 45, setting up a 2nd and 6. So, Sage, let's go back to that 4th down decision we saw from Matt Campbell in Iowa State. 4th and less than a yard. You heard the crowd want him to go for it. Do you like the call there by the Cyclone coach?
Well, they're itching towards, midfield, and you like to think, all right, well, we can go for it. We got the bigger offensive line, but I think there's a lot of respect there, one, for the Northern Iowa defensive line, but two, you don't want to make that one mistake in this close ball game that can cost you, end up costing the game. If Northern Iowa gets the stop, ends up scoring, that'd be a huge, huge mistake in this ball game.
McElvain with a floater, and it nearly found the target. Coming out of the backfield was Tyler Hoosman. Soft touch by Will McElvain.
And I think what Matt Campbell was probably thinking also was probably a better punt. He was expecting to get them down inside the 10-yard line, maybe get the ball back, in plus field position range. But with the bad punt, that gave Northern Iowa pretty good field position. And obviously it sets up this 3rd down and 6. This is a really big 3rd down in this ball game as we get further and further along.
UNI 4 of 9 on 3rd downs today. Cyclones with a 3-man front. They run a stunt. UNI's O-line picks it up. McElvain time to choose, and a 1st down strike. Another 3rd down conversion. That's Sam Schnee making the catch, the redshirt sophomore from Dubuque.
When you play a lot of zone defense, if you don't get pressure by your defensive line, by your defensive ends, if you have a quarterback who can buy some time back there, you're almost always going to find somebody open, and Will McElvain, with just way too much time back there, ends up picking apart the Iowa State secondary.
Schnee, a transfer as far as positions go. He started his career at UNI at running back. They have moved him to wide receiver. Dubuque senior's all-time leading rusher with a big 3rd down catch. Nowhere to go on 1st down for Quan Hampton. Jake Hummel.
Think about Quan Hampton and Deion McShane is they're not just wide receivers. They are not scared to give those guys the ball in some sort of jet sweep or some sort of outside run. Those guys are pretty electric when they have the football. They're tough to bring down. Nice job by the Iowa State defense.
No Will McDonald in here on this 2nd down play for that Cyclone defense. Again, they rush just 3, and the hitch pattern is caught. Put a little extra juice as he zipped it. A strike to McShane, and another third down coming up for UNI, who's made their living on third downs on this drive.
And this is where they really struggled in the spring. One of the worst teams in FCS on third downs, only about 25% on their spring season, and they've done much better today. This is a big third down in the game. This could be 4-down territory. They've crossed the middle of the field. They need to score some points. I can see them going for on fourth down if they don't convert here on third.
They go empty set. We haven't seen this from Farley's offense today. Third down, McElvain very comfortable floating. He'll try to throw near sideline, and there was nothing there. The Iowa State defense had everybody covered. In fact, the receiver for the Panthers was a good 3 or 4 yards out of bounds.
You know, most teams rush 4 defensive linemen. Iowa State likes to rush 3, and sometimes they just drop 8 into coverage. Against Will McElvain, they drop really 7 into coverage, and then one guy, Orion Vance, the Fiesta Bowl MVP, by the way, he's really just a spy on the Northern Iowa quarterback.
Play of the game right now. Mark Farley says, what the heck? We're in hostile territory. We're playing a top 10 program. Let's go for the upset. 4th down and 4. McElvain claps the hands. The sophomore floats under pressure, throws, and it's intercepted by Young. And the Cyclone defense comes away with the takeaway.
McElvain does what he always does. He buys time. He tries to make something happen. Great pursuit by the Iowa State defensive line linebackers to prevent him from running. He's got to throw it somewhere. He's got to give his team a chance. Great job at the Iowa State secondary and Hasheem Young with the interception. Obviously, probably should just knock this ball down. You would have gained about 10 or 15 yards in field position. But at the end of the day, a big turnover for the Cyclone defense.
His second career interception. Hasheem Young gets the takeaway for the Cyclones.
You know, one of Hasheem's biggest weaknesses, that actually he's almost too aggressive. You know, that he plays that sort of, they call it the star safety. It's the middle safety in that defense. And a lot of times you're in a position where it's a tight end up the middle, somebody in the middle of the field. It can be very dangerous for him because he really likes to hit guys. And you saw in the Oklahoma game in the Big 12 championship, he was thrown out of the game on the very first possession. That was a huge loss for the Iowa State defense in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, the safeties coach and the defensive coordinators trying to find the balance with staying aggressive yet avoiding those targeting calls. As you mentioned, he got tagged early in that game against OU. Well, here's a scary sight for Iowa State. Orion Vance, a 2-time All-Big 12 linebacker, slow to get up. Vance has had another active day today from his Mike linebacker position. Good to see him walking off in his own power. Matt Campbell out there. He's part of the dynamic trio of linebackers for ISU and the experience that Hummel and Rose and Vance have built.
They've got 3 gritty starting linebackers on this Iowa State defense, and Orion Vance with an unbelievable Fiesta Bowl leading into his senior season. Obviously, Mike Rose at 6'4", 250 pounds. I'm fairly sure you're going to see this guy drafted in those first couple rounds. He is one heck of a football player. They've had some good ones here at Iowa State, and he is maybe one of the best linebackers in school history.
We'll talk about the potential NFL draft picks on the Cyclone roster in a moment. Change of possession. Iowa State takes over at the 26. Neither team has scored here in this quarter. They try to go wide with Brees Hall, and UNI stretches it out beautifully. Sapp from a safety position. Evans holding firm from his cornerback spot.
Yeah, these safeties for Northern Iowa are coming up very aggressively in the run. And Mark Farley, he talked about he really wanted to try to keep Brees Hall between the tackles. He did not want him to get on the edge. He was concerned about that edge speed. Nice job by the Panthers of running him down.
Purdy to the near side, wide open. Tariq Milton makes the catch in UNI territory, shoved out of bounds by Sander. First down throw for Brock Purdy.
You know, some people wonder why do teams use play action so much? Well, it's not just for the fact that you send guys deep down the field, it's that you have time to send guys down the field. When you just straight pocket pass, those defensive ends, those rushers, they're going right after the quarterback. When you have to play the run for 2 or even 3 seconds, that allows the receivers to get far down the field. Nice play design, nice execution for the Iowa State Cyclones.
34 yards in the completion to Milton, who's coming back from both collarbone and ankle issues a season ago. Flag flies. Brees Hall tackled at the 34. Flag thrown in the vicinity of a hold, and I think that was Tim Butcher, who might have been held, the big down tackle for UNI.
Offense, number 43. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
You know, one of those issues with the outside runs is that those officials can see the holdings, the holds a little bit easier as you're on the edge. You're sort of exposed. Those hands get outside the defender's body, and Iowa State gets caught in a very costly hold to set up a 1st and 20 for the Cyclones.
I think you're seeing too, Sage, how valuable. I mean, this is no surprise, but really how valuable Kohler is to this offense.
Yeah, he's more than just a receiver. He's a pretty good blocker as well.
1st and 21, and here comes another flag. So Iowa State and UNI creating some laundry as we wind down this 3rd quarter.
Prior to the snap,
this one's going to the Panthers.
Offense, number 52.
No, they're going to say Iowa State clinched. Or that Cyclone offensive line, in particular the captain, Sean Foster. They were all thinking it was UNI. Take a look at the left side. I don't know if it was Daryl Simmons or what, but the Cyclones moving the wrong way now. 1st and a mile for Purdy. They're going to try to set up that screen, little tunnel screen action, trying to get back into the center. Xavier Hutchinson with the catch, and there is Austin Evans again. Evans has worked 2 different positions for UNI in the secondary.
You know, when you're a quarterback, it's really hard on 2nd and 20 to try to get a 1st down. So you're really just trying to get chunks, trying to get completions, hopefully set up a manageable 3rd down where you have a shot at getting a 1st down.
2nd and 26. Purdy flushed. Purdy chase, stays on his feet, trying to get to the safety of the boundary, and he does. Gets a little late shove from the UNI linebacker Riley Van Wine, but this Panther defense setting up a 3rd and long for the Cyclones.
Tell you what, that Panther defensive line is playing outstanding today. They're doing a good job of stopping Brees Hall on the runs, and in the passing game, Brock Purdy does not have a lot of time. He is not just sitting back there patting the ball 3 or 4 hitches and being comfortable. They are constantly moving him off his spot.
With all the firepower in this game, this has turned out to be a good old backyard tussle. In the Midwest, 2 proud programs in the state of Iowa, UNI, masters of the FCS, Iowa State. Will this be a Big 12 championship year? Cyclones by 3 as we march to the 4th. 3rd and 21 as we welcome you back to Ames. Iowa State calling it safe as they swing it out to Hall. And a 4-quarter battle here at a sold-out Jack Trice Stadium with Scooby Mageza, Sage Rosenfeld, Sean Kenny, and an upset alert here in Ames. Purdy in the offense heading to the sideline. The two defenses dominating in the second half, and it becomes a field position game.
It definitely has, and Matt Campbell chose to punt on the last possession. He chooses to punt again. No offensive coordinator has a 3rd and 21 play on that play chart that they have. And go back to about 2003, Norv Turner's my offensive coordinator. We had a 3rd and 21, and the receiver who had just gotten the penalty comes over and he says, and Norv says to him, "Why don't you call the play on 3rd and 21? I don't have any of those in my playbook." And the receiver says, "Throw me a go route." And sure enough, that's exactly what we did. We got the first down. So there's not a lot of 3rd and 21s in the playbook. It's the offensive coordinator's least favorite play. And Iowa State couldn't overcome it on that possession.
Well, you go back 2016, UNI has been in this position. They rallied in the 4th quarter. Javion Browning late in the game, less than 3 minutes to go. That gave UNI the lead, and then the Panther defense, relentless all night, able to create the turnover. Joel Lanning's pass intercepted. Northern Iowa celebrates the victory, and Mark Farley and the Missouri Valley Football Conference, they have been bullies in the FCS for so many years, and no stranger to knocking off Big 12 teams. South Dakota State has done it. North Dakota State with a trio of victories over the past decade, and now UNI battling the Cyclones. Looks like the freshman lost his lid out there for Iowa State.
For the Iowa State Cyclones, from 2016 to 2021, a lot has changed. Obviously, Brock Purdy, with his success as the all-time winningest quarterback in Iowa State history. When you go back to 2016, Joel Lanning ended up being an All-American linebacker for the Cyclones the following year. So they didn't have their quarterback yet, but they found him when Brock Purdy showed up on campus.
2nd down and 8, UNI from the 23-yard line. Up the middle they go with Dom Williams, and he is cracked at the line of scrimmage. Sliding down from the end position. Not much real estate for Williams to work, and a 3rd down for McElvain, who Sage has really cooled off in this second half after a very efficient first half of action.
Yeah, he made a couple of big plays in the first half. It does look like Mark Farley has decided to slow this game down, right? He's not trying to throw the ball all over the field. I think he wants to slow this game down to really try to limit the number of possessions. He knows if he can beat it right at the end, that gives Northern Iowa their best chance to win.
Line to get is the 30. McElvain will step into the throw, and what a catch on both knees. The reflexes of Isaiah Weston, and a 1st down for the Panthers. Holy smokes, hands by Weston.
What a catch. He ran sort of a corner stop route. When he came out of the stop part of it, he slipped, fell to the ground, and just snagged it with his hands. Great throw, great protection by that Northern Iowa offensive line. Big 1st down pickup for the Panthers.
He is the most experienced wide receiver that Farley has in his fleet. Injury-riddled spring, only played 3 years. His first catch of the day today. And again, the yards inside, they have been tough to go by for UNI. There's Rose, the All-American inside for Iowa State. Let's check in with Scooby.
Thanks, Sean. Vance came off the field with a lower leg injury. He told trainers that he heard a pop at the time of the injury, tried to work on it on the sideline to see if he could get back to game playing action, but he's done for the day. They are now icing his lower leg.
A tough blow for Iowa State. We'll see more of Gary Vaughn, the redshirt junior from Atlanta. He's in there on this play. Flag flies, and McElvain throws incomplete. Couple of flags down in the backfield.
Looks in the spot of holding along that offensive line.
Been a fairly busy day for Kevin Hassel and this officiating crew.
The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. The receiver went out of bounds and then came back in and caught the pass. Holding, offense number 70. The penalty's 10 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
Matt
Correction.
Campbell had a decision to make there. Whether you take that holding penalty, he is going to decline it. Rather than 2nd and 20, Matt Campbell is going to stick with the incomplete pass and just go with the 3rd and 10.
That's Trevor Penning, who a lot of people think will be playing on Sunday afternoons. That time he got caught holding Zach Peterson. We haven't seen the Penning-Will McDonald matchup. They have been lining up on opposite ends of the line of scrimmage.
But not on this one. Will McDonald is on the right-hand side, right over Trevor Penning.
3rd down for McIlvain. Pressure comes, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Ioma Iwazarike able to get the hands up. The veteran, battle-tested defensive lineman for Iowa State. And the Cyclones force the punt.
Yeah, Iowa State brings a blitz up the middle, but the defensive ends actually drop into coverage. You saw Will McDonald drop into coverage on that play. Nice job by the Iowa State defensive line. Get their hands up if you can't get to the quarterback, and he gets a nice bat down. 4th down for Northern Iowa Panthers.
Iwazarike making his 34th career start. Murphy trying to angle the punt. And this one will sail wide and out of bounds. See where they mark this one at. The Cyclone offense has been quiet. They'll go back to work when we come back. You're watching the Big 12 now on ESPN+. Sold out Jack Trice Stadium. 4th quarter, 11:38 to play. Iowa State in a battle. The Cyclones on the cusp of a season that many call the most anticipated in program history. And a battle with their friends from Cedar Falls. Purdy in the offense from the 39. Reese Hall, the running back. They play fake it to him on the move, and the throw is caught. That's the fullback out of the backfield, Jared Russ. So no Charlie Kohler. You find alternative options, and Russ has seen a ton of reps today for ISU.
Tom Manning loves the 2 tight ends, and just because one of your best players in your team is not available today doesn't mean you can't still run those 2 tight end sets and those 2 tight end plays. And they love the bootleg game here so far in the season opener, and they've called that many times. Nice little slide route by the Iowa State offense.
18 yards in the completion. The redshirt junior from Eldridge on first down, straight up the gut with Hall. Charlie Kohler, the 2-time All-American, the first for Iowa State since the great Troy Davis did it in back-to-back years. Look at the numbers last year. 44 catches, one of 3 Mackey finalists last year. Led the Big 12 tight end grouping in receptions and receiving yards, out with a lower body injury. Again, the Cy-Hawk Trophy coming next week to Ames with Iowa, so we have not seen Kohler all afternoon. Second down, here's a little seam for Hall up the middle as he knifes to the 35.
The Northern Iowa defensive line is doing exactly what Mark Farley had hoped. They have really prevented Breece Hall from breaking it outside and breaking the long ones. They have kept him inside the tackles, and for the most part, those runs have only been for 2, 3, and 4 yards. Sets up a lot of third downs. We got another one for the Cyclones.
Yeah, Hall only averaging 3.5 yards per touch. Spencer Cuvalier in this Panther defense. Big number 44, Jared Brinkman, wreaking havoc like he always does. 3rd and 3 for the Cyclones. UNI shifting on that defensive line. They will keep it with Purdy, and he'll pick up the first down. Falls ahead to the 26. Lambert tracked him down, but Purdy keeps the drive alive.
You know, being a running quarterback has a lot of different descriptions, and sometimes you're an option quarterback. Other times you just want a guy who can run when it really counts. In the red zone, near the goal line, and on 3rd and short. And Iowa State uses Brock Purdy's athletic ability to get that huge first down on 3rd and 3.
Purdy, the 4-year starter, started 8 games back in his true freshman year, and he's never looked back since that first start at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. Running to the boundary side, there is nowhere to go for Hall. Omar Brown, I love these UNI corners, both Brown and Evans. They're like extra safeties against the run. They are physical.
Farley talked about that. He wants his corners and his safeties to all sort of be the same guys. He's just looking for 4 really good football players that can cover, that can also tackle. Omar Brown is one of the best tackling corners that I have seen in a while.
Clock continues to move, 8.5 to play. Purdy will tuck and run, has some space. He's inside the 10, and then he tripped and falls down to the 8. 19 yards, improvising Brock Purdy, starting to run a little bit more freely in this second half.
Nice job with the protection by the Iowa State offensive line. Brock just sort of steps up in the pocket, and the C's parted, and he took off. Ended up being a nice, really nice run by the Iowa State quarterback, setting up the ball at the 8-yard line on a really big red zone effort here for the Cyclones.
8 carries, 54 yards today for Purdy. Touchdown would make it a 2-possession game here for Iowa State. Breece Hall has 1 touchdown today. He pile drives his way ahead. Lambert, a double-digit tackle game for UNI, 2nd and goal.
You love to see how Breece Hall ended that run, falling forward behind his pads, keeping his balance, getting every yard. Such a special running back.
Here comes the jumbo package for Iowa State. Jake Rimsberg into the game. Jared Huffer, the 310-pounder. A lot of beef on that big offensive line for ISU. 2nd and goal. Hufford will line up as one of the backs. Full house backfield. Here is Hall trying to drive the pile ahead, and he is driven back. Omar Brown again. He met him, and he met the momentum and returned the favor.
Omar Brown tackles like a linebacker out here.
He really does. Well, Sage, let's put on your quarterback hat here. Purdy has had luck on the bootlegs. He's had success moving the pocket. You have the Big 12's top touchdown scorer from a year ago. What do you like here if you're Matt Campbell?
I like getting him on the edge, maybe some sort of sprint out or bootleg to the left, a little play action, give him a chance to make some decisions.
They're going to play power football with Hall trying to scoot to the outside, and he won't get there. You guessed it, Omar Brown again for the Panthers secondary.
That is a third huge tackle by Omar Brown on just this drive alone.
And UNI is going to use a timeout.
Iowa State with a decision to make here.
Northern Illinois.
It's going to be 4th and 4. You think you're probably going to kick the field goal, but the dreaded 6-point lead. You know, the 3-point lead, maybe the other team's more conservative and ties it with the field goal. The 6-point lead, they have to score a touchdown to even have a chance. You end up losing the ball game. So you do see teams sometimes in this situation actually go for it to try to get that touchdown, try to get that two-possession lead.
Campbell and the Cyclones will have some time to think. Iowa State with the decision when we come back to Ames. Matt Campbell has had time to think, and he wants the 3 points, so he sends out Connor Asali to attempt a little more than a chip shot here. 21 yards from the near hash for Asali, who hit from 35 earlier.
Another super senior on this Iowa State roster.
Blake Clark, the holder, Asali's approach, and it is good. So Iowa State ups the ante. Still a one-possession game. Campbell will look to his defense.
We're on TV. Say hi, Mom.
Oh boy.
Send money, beer money.
Yeah. Venmo me. Let's here we go. Let's go, Cyclones.
What an atmosphere here in Ames. 7th-ranked Iowa State, 16. Northern Iowa 10. 6:18 to go here in the fourth quarter. And this Panther offense, which has been held under 200 yards today, will try to generate one more drive. And Sage, we were talking, if you're Mark Farley and the Panthers, you couldn't have scripted a better outcome here in the fourth quarter as far as situational football. Down a possession with an opportunity maybe to pull off a big upset on the road.
I mean, when you're an underdog, you just want that opportunity that at the end of the football game, we can win it with a couple plays, with a possession. Would be within a field goal or even a touchdown, and they are right there. I think everyone sort of knew it was going to be a close ball game. People who had followed this game in years past, it's never a blowout. It's always a good game. And obviously, Mark Farley, a very talented and very experienced team. They have all 22 starters back. They are not scared in any way of the 7th-ranked Cyclones, and they are right there. They're right where they want to be. 6:18 left. They got 2 timeouts. And this is a really big drive for them in this ball game.
A UNI team that went 3-4 during spring ball, and on first down, this is an offense that has averaged less than 2 yards per carry, and that trend continues. Nothing there. Uwazarike in on the stop. The 5th-year senior, really the leader up front, the veteran presence.
3-4 in the spring, but highly, highly unusual. They had a ton of guys out. Also, in those 4 losses by a total of 15 points, including right at the end of the year to North Dakota State, which we all know is really an FBS team at this point with how successful they are, how many guys they put in the NFL.
Yeah, all 4 of their losses to 4 playoff teams. Here comes a blitz. McElvain gets rid of it to Hoosman, and then he is hit immediately. That is Kamani King in on the stop for Iowa State, and a 3rd down for the Panthers.
John Haycock not sitting back in zone. He's bringing pressure. When you bring pressure, your guys got to tackle. Really nice job by Kamani King.
How will the redshirt sophomore respond? A sea of cardinal and gold being heard. 3rd down for UNI. Cyclones rush 3 out of the backfield. Williams makes the catch, and he's tackled shy of the 1st down. Good job there by Hummel. Able to shadow Williams, trying to drift out of the backfield, and a 4th and short for the Panthers.
It is decision-making time for Northern Iowa. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, deep in their own territory on their own 33-yard line. I think they know if they give this ball back to Iowa State, they may never see it again. Got to watch for the hard count of your defensive lineman.
Fourth down, Hoosman the call. 1st down, UNI. It took a while to open up, but Hoosman found it, and a 1st down for the Panthers.
That is a gutsy call on 4th down and 2 to run the football right at this Iowa State defensive attack. Nice job by that offensive line. Again, running to the left side to the brothers from Clear Lake. "21 years. Northern Iowa football has been led by Mark Farley. He's watched his sons come through the program, many a battles with Iowa State. This is going to be holding on UNI. McElvain floating off to the right side. He'll cross the 40 up to the 42, but that cyclone pressure generating the holding call coming.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
That's younger brother Jared Penning. The big Penning brothers on the left side for UNI. Just tackled Zach Peterson. from his defensive end position.
What we are seeing, we're not seeing Iowa State sit back and playing in conservative defense. You're seeing John Haycock dial up the blitzes.
8 into coverage, zone look downfield. McElvain twisted and caught. He'll net a positive yard. Again, Jake Hummel, boy, he's having a good game. The Dowling Catholic product in on another stop. Honorable mention from a year ago.
I'll tell you what, you're seeing Jake Hummel not just run sideline to sideline as a linebacker. You're seeing him rush the quarterback, but also when he rushes, if he doesn't get there, he's doing a great job being the spy on this very athletic quarterback for Northern Iowa.
Boy, his father, Perry, fun to watch. He was a 3-time All-American wrestler here at Iowa State. National runner-up in 1980. Second down and long for McElvain. Comes near side, caught by McShane. Twist back to the center, and a good open field tackle by Gary Vaughn. Remember, he's in there for the injured Orion Vance.
Sets up a 3rd and 12. The clock is running down 2:45 on a running clock here, deep into the 4th quarter. Very obvious, this is 4-down territory for the Panthers.
Offensive coordinator Sean Watson in his 2nd year. As Sage talked about, 2 plays to pick up the 12 yards. Trips right for UNI. McElvain's going to take a shot into double coverage. Nobody out there but Cyclones, and it's Datrone Young with the interception. The 2nd takeaway for ISU, and the Cyclone defense comes up again.
A huge mistake by McElvain. 3rd down, you've got 2 downs left. If there's nothing there, scramble around, try to make something happen, throw the ball away. Do not force it. He has time in the pocket. He tries to push the ball downfield. Nobody's there. Really his first big mistake of the game.
Young, the interception. The Cyclone takeaway, their 2nd of the day. Datrone Young with the interception. This Iowa State defense, just 218 yards allowed. Their second half defense dominance continues. And now the Cyclones will go to work on the ground with Breece Hall, and UNI can stop the clock twice, and they will use the timeout here. 2 minutes exactly to go in Ames, a thriller. Iowa State clinging to a 6-point lead. Grand total of 3 points in this second half. Iowa State with the field goal from Asali, a 16-10 lead. A game in which the second half has been dominated by Campbell's D. The Cyclone second half defense has been incredible over the second half of last year, and that trend continues to Mark Farley's dismay. 2nd down and 8 for the Cyclones. UNI with 1 timeout left. This will be Breece Hall dancing to the outside. There's Lambert. Boy, he's played a whale of a game. The 2 linebackers, Cuvalier and Lambert. Breece Hall rushed for over 100 yards in 9 games last year. The only 3 he did not. Texas, he had 91 yards. West Virginia, 97. And then in the Big 12 championship game with Oklahoma, 79. Today, 23 carries for Hall, 66 yards. Take a look back at this one, Sage, and the breakaway ability for UNI, and Quan Hampton, the Kansas transfer, was a big part of their offense in the first half.
And only 218 yards.
Second, Hampton almost had it. Anthony Johnson He's the main guy in the cornerback fleet for Iowa State. The two-time all-conference player swatting it down.
Yeah, trying to high-low that cover 2 corner there. Nice job by Anthony Johnson sinking back and getting his hands on that Will McElvain pass.
Well, now it comes down to this play.
Isaiah Weston, number 80 at the bottom of the screen. He is the tall receiver for Northern Iowa. So if they're going to throw a Hail Mary to somebody, you got to think it might be him.
Maybe try a hook and ladder downfield as well. Nope, McElvain's going to go across the middle. It's caught, clock winding down, and that's it. Iowa State will survive a scare from UNI, and it's Mike Rose who puts the finishing touches on this one. Cyclones prevail in the home opener against an upset-minded bunch of Panthers from Cedar Falls.
26 points scored in this game with all this talent, in particular on the Iowa State offense with Breece Hall, with their quarterback, with Xavier Hutchinson. Really a fantastic effort by both defenses, both defensive coordinators. I got to think you have, two teams as they go into meetings this week. Defensive coordinators got to be pretty happy. Offensive coordinators are all thinking we got some work to do.
And if you're Iowa State, obviously you wanted the win. And for the Cyclones, how much do you think they showed in preparation for Iowa next weekend?
I've always thought that's all baloney. Did they hold anything back? You try to win each and every game, and you worry about next week when that occurs. Now, whether Charlie Kohler played or not, that's a different conversation. But I think you try to go out and you win each and every week, and then when the game plan comes for next week, we try to change it up just enough that the other team doesn't know what we're doing. So, it's the type of game I thought it might be, low scoring, grinded out defensive. That's the games when these two teams have competed. They've been a lot like these types of games, and in particular with Iowa State's defense, we talked about 10 points that they have given up in the second half in the last 6 games of the season last year. They're a fantastic second half team defensively. You'd like to have that offense, of course, rock and roll a little bit more than they did, but they did enough to win, and that's all Matt Campbell cares about.
Iowa State 1-0. The Cyclones will take on Iowa next weekend, the annual Cy-Hawk Showdown. The Hawkeyes have had the dominance of late, winning in last-second fashion over Iowa State. The special teams play that Cyclone fans will remember for a long time. The Hawkeyes with a 1-point win. Iowa's won the last 5. You go back to the 2014 season. That was the last time the Cyclones were able to figure out the Hawkeyes, and they will meet next weekend. The two teams not playing last year during the COVID season.
Matt Campbell has accomplished a lot in his time here at Iowa State. All right, he has not won a Big 12 championship yet, and he has not beaten the Hawkeyes yet either. So that is going to be an extremely wild atmosphere. There's only about 61.5 that gets into Jack Trice Stadium. I bet there'll be well over 100,000 people in the parking lots.
Well, let's swing it down to the sidelines. Matt Campbell, he's standing by with Scooby.
Coach, every time you play UNI, it seems like it's a barn burner. How important is it to be game tested and battle tested like this in the opening game of the season?
Oh, man, this is why you play, so much credit to UNI and their kids, and they're a really good football team, as veteran as we are coming back, and, a team that just played a lot of football not so long ago. So good, got their best shot every step of the way, and, we weren't perfect today, but I was proud of our effort.
Yeah, second half defense was huge for you guys. 45 yards rushing allowed throughout this whole game. But the offense, 16 points. How important is it for them to improve? And how impressed are you with this rushing defense?
Man, run the ball and stop the run. And as long as we live in that world, we'll be just fine.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Iowa State in a year that many have tabbed with so much anticipation. Will this be the year they claim a Big 12 championship? Will they be a contender for the playoffs? Cyclone Nation showed up, and Iowa State prevails in the in-state battle. For Sage Rosenfels, Scooby Mageza, I'm Sean Kinney saying so long from Ames, where your final score is Iowa State 16, UNI 10. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Ames.